Shout out to everybody that's taking the time out to watch this video here, to be able to share my story. My name is Kris Drone. I'm originally from, you could say, everywhere in the United States. You know, I started out, Aurora, Colorado, went to, Tennessee, up to New York, down to Atlanta, back out to Tennessee, and then stayed most of my time a little bit in Texas. So I got a little bit of everything, but a lot of my influence comes from my time from being in New York City. Regarding to like how my brand came to be, it was something that I was always passionate with, even as a youngster. Just because, my parents, well, actually my mom, she didn't really have money like that, and I used to sit in Foot Locker and just look at the wall and just daydream, and the smell of sneakers and the amount of energy and creativity that was involved to create those shoes and the shoes that they were created for. It really inspired me, and I used to just sit in there for hours upon end, fantasizing like one day I could be able to touch these shoes and be able to put them on my feet. And I don't know how many of y'all are familiar, but my cousin London on the track, for people that know, he used to have the latest and the greatest, so I used to always look at him like, yo, I want those, let me put those on, a little stunt a little bit. But it was definitely appreciative, for the culture. And then as I got a little bit older, I started working at SeaWorld out of San Antonio, Texas. And when they told me, hey, you can work unlimited hours, unlimited, I took that time to work as hard as I could to be able to get some of the shoes that I always wanted. I started off a lot with Air Force Ones because I loved them. They were versatile. And eventually, as the collection started to progress, I started moving in more into, my Timberland aesthetics. It's definitely time in the winter, always having a fresh pair of Constructions on deck. And then as well as definitely Jordans. As far as my favorite models of all time, there's always going to be the 7s and 11s. I just love the concepts that go behind why they were created and how they were made. And I love the beauty of them. Later in my life, I didn't really been able to get into shoes until I was until I got into the military. Because as I was coming in, me and my wife, we were married, we had a child, we were going through school, and we were still living, out of a mom's house, so we didn't really have money. And at that time, my daughter, she had hospital bills and everything like that, and I feel like this is cutting off into something else, but oh well. But yeah, so I made the leap to get into the military, and then when I got into the military, I always wanted to be in the military. My level of appreciation got even more for sneakers. And then it just started to contemplate in my mind, like, all right, what can I do in order to constantly be around something that I love? Because I used to go home and see my entire collection. I was just like, man, if I could do this for the rest of my life, just look at shoes. I ain't got to be profitable. If I could just stay above water, I can do something that I truly enjoy and that I love. And then I got sent out here to Okinawa, Japan. And since the day I got out here, I was thinking like, all right, I wonder what are the rules, getting in the shop, because there wasn't no consignment shop, at least that we knew of, that you can be able to go into and find some of the shoes that you probably missed out on. And for me, I think it's detrimental to the culture. I know a lot of people feel and have misconception about what a consignment shop has to offer. But I look at it as a way for bringing everybody from all walks of life together, and being able to, share experiences, and as well as share, with their cultures. When you walk into a shop, you right off the jump, you can look at somebody's feet and then you have a commonality. And that's what truly brings the sneaker culture together. So you're able to, get with them and be able to get some knowledge on the shoes. Because I'm not as diverse in my collection as others. So I may be like, hey, what is the concept behind, those Nomads, those Asics? I've never seen those before. So then it's just constantly learning. And when I started out here in Okinawa, just doing like major assists. I used to go to the shops, cop as many pairs as I can get into retail, where I'll be like, hey, just give me a little tip for the gas going out there. Eventually I started getting into the whole bot thing, and started doing add to cart services for people, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say that it was satisfying, but it wasn't satisfying enough. That's not what drove me. What truly drove me is being around sneakers, and I felt like I was stepping away from that. So I made the ultimate decision, like, all right, what can I do in order to open up my own sneaker shop in a place that is probably not the most easiest, but I'm a strong believer that in hard work, great things will come. So I was never scared of the opportunity. So in 3 years in the making, an opportunity knocked on the door for me to be able to open up my own shop, and I ran with it. I sacrificed my entire sneaker collection in order to make that happen, selling everything that I own in order to open up my shop. And in the midst of that, it was probably the most rewarding thing in my life, but also the most toughest thing in my life. Just because it takes a lot of devotion to continue to do the things you do, and as well as being a family man first and foremost, having the military aspects to make sure that you're still doing your job effectively and that the mission still continues, and then operating your own business in a foreign country. Took a lot of legal aspects and a lot of work in order to get it done. But then this goes back to what I said, I'm a strong believer with hard work and what it stands for. And since I've opened the shop, a lot of things have happened. I've seen the community reap a lot of the benefits that we have to offer, because there are certain things that the local markets get that us Americans we can't get, and there's a lot of stuff that us on America's side that we can get that is unattainable for the locals. So it's a kind of a one-stop location for you to not only get things that you miss out on, but also be able to bring in new things that probably will be able to help develop others or help expand their collection. And for me, that's what it's all about. To me, I think that's what the culture is about. It originally started off by just helping each other get what they needed. And mine is just doing that, but at the same time making sure on the business aspect that as long as everything is paid for, that hey, this is your place to be. You don't have to come in here to buy anything. You just can come here to sit down, chill with us, and have a good time. And I guess that's the type of vibe I'm trying to bring in the field, that I'm trying to bring into the market. And it's definitely tough. Takes a lot of good support structure. So if you ever get a chance to look at my wall, you'll see that all the people that helped me along the way in order to make this dream possible. Because honestly, as much as I want to be prideful, like I couldn't do this, like I can do it on my own, like I really couldn't. All these people took the time that they could have shopped thousands of other places. They could have got a cheaper price somewhere else, but they came in and shopped with me to help my vision, to help my dream. And to me, that speaks volumes. I definitely had a lot of mentors along the way to be able to keep that fire in me, even when it seems like it was being smothered by other outside obstacles. And the biggest thing I could tell anybody is don't be afraid of pressure. Pressure is what makes you stronger. If you ever get, lifting weights, if you ain't putting pressure, you ain't gonna never get big. And don't ever be scared to make that leap in a dream that is yours. Always take that leap, no matter what it is, because at the end of the day, you don't want to regret something or have that thought in your back of your mind like, hey, I wish I would have did that. Nah, turn that wish into reality. And that's the exact same thing I'm trying to do here, and make my mark not only in Japanese sneaker culture, but hopefully we can take this and be a worldwide thing, so that everybody can read from it.